Welcome back to the 5 City YouTube channel. Can I redo that? Because I mispronounced 3 out of 4 words that I said. Welcome to the 5 City YouTube channel. Welcome back.
Welcome.
Man, biggest thing ever to happen in the UFC. We had to hop on. We had to make at least a quick video. Because, I don't know, this is shocked the world. We won't start with it. Maybe we can start with the co-main. I don't know, because, not going to lie, the rest of the card, UFC 278, if you haven't really realized, is what we're talking about. The rest of the card was kind of a snoozer, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, the Jose Aldo fight would be the next biggest one to talk about, but I mean, it was pretty boring. He didn't really do much. He fought really, really slow, and Merab just fought really, really fast and with a lot of pressure and landed a bunch of strikes and won.
Merab, just kind of kept the pressure on him the whole time, and Aldo just didn't really do much. It kind of looked like maybe he was waiting to land one big shot, and it just kind of never happened for him. I know you said he kind of fought like he was trying to like Cheeto, almost, like kind of that strategy, and even Cheeto, who won that fight, got shit on
and,
that.
Like fighting against like a points fighter like Merab, it's like you're really hoping for that knockout,
right? Yeah, and then
nothing landed, so yeah, it's a loss.
Merab ended up winning decision. So yeah.
Connor weighed in on that one too, I remember.
Did he?
Yeah, he was saying Merab was a good little fighter.
Yeah, had to weigh in on his old weight division, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. But yeah, like I said, nothing really else to mention about the rest of the fights. I mean, like I said, had some names, but the fights besides the co-main and the main weren't too great, to be honest. But that's what happens. Live sports. Sports.
Getting into the co-main though with Paulo Costa and Luke Rockhold. I mean, that was a battle, but it was an interesting fight.
Right. I think it was so interesting.
A lot of mixed opinions on it.
Yeah, even like leading up to the fight, like everything that was like Paulo Costa with his like special juice or whatever.
Yeah, and USADA coming in and testing him at 3 in the morning when he's dehydrated, cutting weight the night before.
Yeah.
Like that's
I mean,
fucked up. Dana said that won't happen again though to anybody.
Right.
So
right. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty unacceptable though. I mean, he's already dehydrated, and like Dana said, I saw the clip this morning. Actually, it's funny that you brought it up, but like he said that the blood test is going to be the same whether you do it before or after the weight cut. You know what I mean? Like he's not, I don't know, taking the blood while he's dehydrated. Like, I don't know. You ever get blood drawn? Like you feel like you're going to pass out either way after. You know what I mean? Like you're already dehydrated. That's just not cool.
And I remember Paulo saying he thought they were going to do like a piss test, which would have been fine. He's like, maybe in a couple hours I can force out some pee, but no.
Yeah, I feel bad for him for that. He
definitely looked. He didn't look as puffy. Like he didn't look as steroidy this time.
He definitely looked like a lot more cut. It looked good though. Looked like he was in better shape. Had no problem making weight this time, which is great. And then, moving on to Luke Rockhold is coming off a 3-year layoff in the UFC.
Just had his jaw broken.
Yep, almost had to have his leg amputated. It was a super long road back for him. And yeah, he came firing on all cylinders as far as like the press conference and stuff goes.
Getting his nose broken in the first round definitely didn't help anything. He wasn't able to breathe the rest of the fight. He was resting, putting his hands on his knees, resting, taking breaks, and
I mean
that sparked a little bit of controversy and a little bit of banter between Jake Paul and Ariel Helwani, if you saw.
Oh yeah, yep. So
yeah, we'll get into that.
I mean, we'll get into that for sure. I think a lot of what had to do with like Luke being like hands on his knees type of thing. A lot of the fighters were saying, that and the high altitude. A lot of the fighters were saying that was affecting them too. It was definitely not because Luke was out of shape or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, we can talk about that Ariel thing really quick, just because it's kind of a crazy story. I mean,
for sure. I mean,
Jake Paul just got on Twitter really and started
saying the fight was dog shit, and then Ariel was basically saying like, "Oh, those are two warriors, two pioneers in the fighting business." Blah blah blah. Those guys. Luke Rockhold was fighting 10 years ago, so that you could fight now. Mm-hmm. And Jake Paul pretty much went on to just like bash Ariel, say that all of them, they're crying about this and that. If it was him who was resting, putting his hands on his knees, everyone would be roasting him, this, that, and the next. But it had nothing to do with him. And it's like, well, you've never been a champion of anything. You've been fighting for 3 years.
Exactly.
You've got your little plastic belt that Ariel actually tweeted a picture of.
Yeah, I know.
But,
and like, the biggest point that I think that you just made, and so did Ariel, is that like this has nothing to do with you.
It has nothing to do with Jake Paul.
Him putting his hands on his knees, being gassed after the first round, has nothing to do with Jake Paul. You know what I mean? Or like anything like that. The road back to the octagon for Luke Rockhold was like 3 years of recovery and probably rehab and crazy amounts of training, and nothing that Jake Paul has had to go through in his fighting career. You know what I mean?
We might be able to pull up a couple of the tweets that Jake Paul was.
Yeah, I was gonna
tweeting
say
out
we'll
just
probably
to
be
give
flashing
you an
them just
idea.
because it's a crazy like you said,
disrespectful
Ariel
to-
and Jake just kept going back and forth and back and forth, and it was just,
It bothered me more
Ariel
that Jake was going back and forth with Ariel when Ariel's like the only person in the fight community, and he said it himself, who's ever backed up Jake or said Jake's fighting is coming from like a genuine spot. But
yeah, right. And now like
don't bite the hand that feeds.
yeah, exactly. And Jake was trying to say like, oh, like this and that about how I have these fighters' backs, and now he's talking all this shit. It's like
No
it's not
fighter
coming
likes
from
him.
a good place, right? Exactly. Yeah, nobody likes him after that. That's for sure. But yeah, I mean, moving on just to the fight, Luke versus Paulo. I thought Paulo looked good. I don't know. I mean, got the win decision. The craziest thing that happened in the fight was something I've never seen in the UFC before.
Well, before that even happened too, there was another point, because I know what you're referencing, but what about when Luke Rockhold goes, fuck you, and then just lands one right on the forehead of Paulo Costa and wobbles him for sure.
It, like knocked him straight
down.
back. Yeah, I was gonna say it knocked him straight
That
back.
that was something out of a movie.
Yeah,
and
that
then
was awesome. That was literally
you're referencing. If you want to talk about that, I was freaking out on the couch, just screaming.
I know. So yeah, I mean, most of you probably already saw it, but Paulo, Luke's on top of Paulo, both faces all bloody, probably most of the blood from Luke, and then he just starts rubbing his face all over Paulo's face.
Smiling.
And he's like smiling. They're like basically like kissing on the ground. They're like rubbing his face all over his face, and it's just the most disgusting, like bloody mess I've ever seen. But it was also the craziest thing I've ever seen in the UFC. I've never seen anything.
I've never seen anything like that in any sport ever.
Yeah, I mean, like we posted it on like Instagram and like TikTok and whatnot, and it got flagged for like dangerous activities and like I don't know, probably bullying too or something.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. But yeah, all said and done.
Went to decision. Paulo
got the decision.
Unanimous decision, wasn't it?
Yeah,
and I
believe
think
so.
the only round that Luke would have possibly won was the first.
I think so. Yeah, if I remember correctly, it's been a few days now, but yeah.
I believe that was the only one that he had even a chance of, but judges it was unanimous to Paulo. So.
And then Luke ended up retiring.
Yeah.
Notable thing for after. He didn't really like put his gloves down in the ring or anything. But he did mention
I don't think that's Luke Rockhold though,
No.
I don't think he's like into that soppy shit. Like, I'm gonna leave my gloves here in the ring. He's like, I'm just gonna take my shit with me and go home.
He did. I think he like mentioned something like that. Maybe in the octagon after, and then we were watching Ariel yesterday, and he said that he's done. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot more to life for sure, especially for a guy like him. So
yeah, definitely. Wrestling bowls and shit.
Yep.
Check it out on the 5 City Instagram.
Yes, dude. That video on TikTok has like 500,000 now.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's great.
No,
it's awesome.
It's definitely one of those weird ones where like you're never gonna find it unless you're looking for it. And then if somebody else posted it like us, obviously we'll get it out there on your phone. But
Exactly. All right. And then, like you said,
moving forward to the main event.
Yes, sir.
The fight of the night.
The kick heard round the world
versus the contender.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, so
the challenger, I should say.
I mean, if you don't know Leon Edwards' like backstory a little bit, we can start with like just like the fights that he's had canceled recently, or like, so obviously he just fought Kamaru Usman. If we start, I was looking at it last night. If we start in 2019, he beats Gunnar Nelson, then beats RDA. 2020. Has a fight scheduled with Tyron Woodley in March, canceled. Has a fight scheduled with Khamzat Chimaev in December, canceled. Has a fight scheduled with Nate Diaz in May, canceled. Has a fight scheduled, beats Nate Diaz in June. Has a fight scheduled with Jorge Masvidal, canceled. So his road up to the octagon has not been smooth.
No.
Not a lot of time in the octagon.
That's
has
a
had
lot.
one fight. Right, exactly.
That's just a lot.
And not to mention, I mean, like, so his last 3 fights, which started in 2019, he beat Gunnar Nelson, RDA, and then Nate Diaz. So he's, had those good wins, and then he had the matchups. If, say he beats Tyron Woodley, right? I don't know. So we never got to see those fights, and his road up to this fight has been very frustrating. In and out of training camps, all these fights have been canceled, and I'm pretty sure none of these cancellations like were for his reason or his fault.
All those fights are winnable other than Khamzat, in my opinion.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I see him beating
his career, not
right.
now.
I see him beating Jorge. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot. There's a lot that could have been done before this fight to kind of put Leon in more of a spotlight is all I'm trying to say, because I mean, I can't sit here and say I was a big Leon Edwards fan before this.
No, and we talked about that.
Right. I wish I could.
It's hard. It's almost impossible to have been, though. You would have had to have been cool with watching 3 fights in the past 3 years.
Right, exactly.
So.
Yeah. I mean, it's just been a very frustrating situation for him, but, it kind of all came together, I guess, in the end. I mean, so okay, yes, okay. So I did forget about that. He there's a little controversy, I guess. You know what? There is a few more. There was another. So I'll pull it up just so you guys can see what I was looking at. But there's a drop down tab when I was looking at. There's 2 more fights in 2021. The Khamzat fight was canceled a second time, so it was scheduled and then canceled. He also had a no contest against Bilal Muhammad. It was due to an eye poke. It was Leon's fault, definitely, for sure, without a doubt. You've probably even seen the picture of like Bilal's eye. It's just huge, and it was definitely nasty. And as you just heard the audience say, a lot of people think, a lot. There is a credible argument that Leon maybe, has some dirty tendencies. I know. So is Kamaru, though. That's the thing. I'm not a big fan of Kamaru.
I was
really.
going to say Kamaru does those stupid foot stomps, and I hate
the foot
that.
stomps. I also saw
I understand that's clean, but it's just come on.
Yeah, I don't know what press conference it was. Maybe it was this recent one, but like Kamaru was like asking Leon like what kind of car he drives and stuff. He's like, "What kind of car you drive? What kind of car you drive?" And like Leon was like, "A Mercedes." Like, "What do you want? Like, what do you want?" Like, and he's like, I don't know, like a lot of shit that Kamaru said.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what do you think Leon Edwards drives?
Like,
you think he drives a
he's
05 Civic?
Yeah, I don't know what he was trying to do. I don't know if that. I don't know. It seemed like it was from a different press conference, so that's the thing. Because it seemed like Leon was not like next to him; he was like in the back row or something. So maybe they were just talking shit. But I don't know. Like a lot of things that Kamaru have said, I don't like. And yes, as Larry pointed out, Leon does do some things too. Right? Eye pokes, grabbing the fence, grabbing the gloves. Sure.
As for the fight, I mean, it was pretty much like the only notable thing Leon really did that I can recall offhand would be like the first takedown ever Kamaru has ever given up.
Yep.
And it was kind of like unexpected, like a close body throw type thing, which was pretty cool. It shows Leon's got some strength. Yeah, because Kamaru was like a brick. You got to realize that guy's not movable.
Oh no, like you go like this, and you're pushing a wall, But yeah, like you said, they were just kind of close. Like it seemed like in the clinch, and Leon just did a trip and just pushed him over. It was sweet.
Yeah. And then I'd say probably Leon lost all the rounds, but maybe one was close.
Yeah, round 1 was close.
Round 1 was a good round for Leon, but other than that, and that was just because Kamaru was feeling him out. It was a 5-round fight.
Right.
But
that Kamaru's got a lot of experience. This would have been his 7th title defense. So he's got a lot of experience in 5-round fights. He knows how to fight.
Which I think if he won, wouldn't he have passed Khabib for title defenses too? So.
Yep. Yeah. This would have been a big one for Kamaru. Can't say I feel bad because it's a huge feel good story for Leon. I mean, like the whole thing. He's losing the fight. You see the videos of his coach screaming like, "Come on, Leon!"
Stop fucking feeling sorry for yourself.
Like it's just a great story.
And then seeing them train that show the right punch, throw the left leg.
Yep.
Show the left punch, throw the right leg. Disgusting.
Yep. Amazing. Did you see the video? Someone cut the video so it was like that video of him throwing the kick in practice, but as soon as the kick lands on the mat, they cut to the kick landing on Kamaru's chin, and it's a really cool edit.
I just love that shit where you Connor did that, where you see him before the fight, training something, throwing something, and then you see him come out and do it, and it's just cool to see people put something into effect that they've been working on. It's cool.
Right, exactly. Yeah, no, I mean, this was easily the biggest thing to happen.
I was running around the house screaming.
I was upset because it was like 7 o'clock, dude. I'm watching early prelims and I'm yawning. And I'm like, oh my God, dude. Like, there's no way I'm making it to the end of this fight. I was up, but I was like so tired watching the fight. Didn't really think anything was going to happen. And then this happens, and it's just crazy. 1 minute left in the fight, less than 1 minute left in the fight.
Well, yeah, if the kick never happened, the fight would have been a real boring. Kamaru wins from just being a good fighter, but Leon threw that leg kick or threw that high kick, and it was just disgusting.
Right, I mean,
crazy.
Yeah,
no lights on in Kamaru's head after that.
No,
those pictures of him laying on his back on the mat, looking up at the ceiling.
I know
there is nothing in between those years at that point.
That's a weird thing to see. is like
could be the only time we ever see that.
I was gonna say, as avid UFC fans, the both of us, all three of us, this is a weird thing to see that picture.
I think
I'm sure it'll be up here
reaction
right now,
wise. Actually, speaking of that, reaction wise,
yeah,
we Larry over there posted
God.
a Joe Rogan reaction to the kick being thrown, which ended up being posted by Barstool twice, FanDuel. I mean, you guaranteed you saw it. It has 13.8 million views the last time we checked it, which is absolutely ridiculous.
amazing, absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's cool. It actually just keeps popping up, whether or not it's in like the fight community Twitter or F1 Twitter or really anything. I've seen it for just about anything and everything now.
Literally.
And I mean,
It's just,
it'll be cool to see if that sticks around to be like a long-term meme or something, which I feel like it could be. It's such a...
It's kind of like like a lot of those Rogan reactions.
And like DC's reaction next to Rogan too. Like we'll put the video up for you to see, but like the way Rogan's freaking out and then DC's just like, yeah,
I know.
that's that. Like it's just like the perfect combination of everything.
I know, and it just shows that those guys are like true fans. You know what I mean? That's the guy. It shows that those are the guys you want commentating. You know what I mean? Because they're just so into it themselves.
And a lot of people were saying like, "Oh, Rogan's reaction's fake. Like he does that for everything." It's like, if I don't know, dude. Like that was the exact reaction I had. I didn't see that coming. I don't think anybody saw that coming. And Leon loses that fight unless he lands that kick.
100%.
So it was nuts. It was like
100%.
It was absolutely nuts.
Couldn't agree more. And if you look at everybody in the crowd behind them, they're all doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
It's maybe not as funny because it's not Joe Rogan and his eyes aren't like bulging out of his head, but like they're all like reacting the same way.
Best fighter reaction though goes to Colby Covington, who looked like he had seen a ghost when he saw Kamaru get knocked out, because he just was. That's something that he thought was impossible. And also, I mean, that opens up doors for him now with Kamaru not. Sitting at champ. Yeah. I mean, Colby's got to be scared of Kamaru, let's be real.
Well, listen, that just made me think of something. Like, this is so good. Like, I don't know. In my opinion, like, I don't like seeing, like, Kamaru just sit as champion and have 7 title defenses, 8 title defenses, whatever. This is good. It shakes everything up, gives people a new look at the welterweight division because it was getting kind of stale. I don't know. Not really, because you got new contenders coming up and things, but Kamaru was stale, in my opinion. That's what I'm trying to say.
We posted a poll, too, on Instagram, just seeing what anyone would want to see next from that division, and it was like Kamaru, Leon, Part 3, Leon Masvidal, or Leon Blank, like somebody else. Right, and I think Leon Edwards versus Blank was the winner. They want to see him fight.
Yeah, nobody really voted for like this fight again.
No, that was actually Kamaru Leon 3 was the lowest voted one.
Yeah.
Second highest would have been Leon Masvidal.
We just saw it. We don't want to see it again. No. Yeah, it just seems kind of weird. Like, okay, you just beat the pound for pound champion. Now you got to do it again.
Yeah, no.
I don't know. There's arguments both ways.
One other fight before he has to fight Kamaru again.
Definitely.
And also, what about all the guys who are busting their ass in that division trying to get that title shot? And it's like, well, Kamaru, just because he was the champ, he gets to go right back at it, back to back. It's like you're just prolonging everyone else's chance to get to be champ.
Dumb. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
And you're taking away the opportunity for Leon to really have like a really good chance at defending the title and building up some confidence as the champ.
Yeah,
I'd rather see Leon.
More money, you know?
I'd rather see Leon beat. If I had it my way, I'd rather see him beat 2 more people.
Mm-hmm.
And then go back and have Kamaru Part 3 with Leon, and then throw that on an absolutely nutty pay-per-view.
Yep.
And that's going to, I mean, Kamaru probably wins that, but if you can just build up Leon's confidence a little bit more and have him thinking like, yeah, I'm that bad motherfucker, like I'm beating people left and right.
Right.
Just throw him Kamaru again, but don't give him to him right away, because then Kamaru goes back and we're right back where we were 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I totally agree.
It's boring.
Definitely agree. Yeah, I mean, like we were just saying, Kamaru, Leon 3 doesn't seem like...
I want to see it. I just don't want to see it right now. I want to see it in a little bit.
Right.
But
yeah. As far as the next pay-per-view.
Yeah, not just like there's going to be fights in between, obviously.
Yeah.
But next pay-per-view, next thing that I'm really excited for is going to be another welterweight bout as the main event, being Khamzat Nate Diaz.
Yep.
Which obviously has been canceled. What was it? Or no, not canceled.
No, this one
was Khamzat.
Yeah,
I'm just confused. We were just talking about Khamzat and Leon.
Yeah, no worries.
And because Leon fought Nate. But
right.
Khamzat Nate, that'll be a cool fight to watch. I mean, can't count out Nate Diaz, but Khamzat's on fire right now, so that'll be really, really cool to see.
Right. It's the hype versus,
the OG.
Diaz.
Yeah.
The OG.
Stockton legend.
Yeah. So
then this next one is also a welterweight bout, but I mean, this is kind of cool.
So yeah, this is interesting because so this whole card, like if you scroll down a little bit, like I'll put this on the screen too, like there's not really many people on this card. Like, do you really know, like, you know what I mean? There's not really very many names on this card. Chris Barnett.
Jake Collier, that'll be a cool fight.
Yeah.
Fight.
Chris Barnett is that guy who had that spinning back kick knockout. But like there wasn't a lot of names on this card, so they just added this Tony Ferguson versus Li Jingliang.
Li Jingliang, yeah.
Yeah. So, and Tony Ferguson is going up to welterweight to fight this fight.
Yeah.
So this is really interesting. Yeah, I mean, do I like this fight for Tony Ferguson? I don't know, because he kind of just fought.
And, I mean, Michael Chandler caught him with that front kick and knocked his ass out.
Yep.
He probably doesn't have that much confidence coming into this. And, I mean, Li Jingliang is absolutely no joke.
No, I mean, yeah. I mean, so Li Jingliang, I think well, I know for sure he lost to Khamzat. I just don't know if he's fought since then. He definitely has, because that was like last year or something like that. But, yeah, that'll be a good one, too. And then it's,
we'll have some fight nights in between.
Right, yeah, and then we'll be doing more, obviously, videos as we get closer to that. Just kind of wanted to preview that and see what we're looking at next. And then no UFC this upcoming weekend, but we're in Paris the next weekend for...
I believe it's race week, though.
It is race week.
So no UFC, but look forward to a F1 pod if you tune into the F1 stuff.
Absolutely. And we're in Paris next weekend for Tai Tuivasa versus Cyril Gane. That'll be amazing, and we'll see you then.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in to the UFC 278 recap of really what the co-main and main were.
Yep, but because that was the only things that were really interesting. But we will definitely see you guys next time, and probably get back to work now. So talk to you later.
Perfect.
Peace out.